Hi, I'm Liz Jarvis, Managing Director of Searchflow, the leading UK property search provider in residential and commercial markets. In this series, I'll be talking to people across the industry about the role that they play and what trends they see emerging. Today, I'm delighted to speak to Duncan Samuel, Executive Chairman at Gazeal. Welcome, Duncan.
Thank you very much, Liz. Pleasure to be here.
Okay, and thank you very much indeed for taking part. So if I can just dive straight into my first question to you, please, which is the issue of transaction fall throughs is as big as it's made out to be? What is the true position with it?
Well, in the 20 weeks of 2023 so far, we're speaking on the 1st of June. In the first 20 weeks of 2023, there have been on average about 26,000 deals agreed per week, of which about 6,000 have fallen through. So that's a fall through rate of about 24% of all deals that are agreed to fall through. So yeah, it's a substantial amount of deals that are falling through.
That's a lot. And do we know what kind of costs are incurred on average when that happens?
Well, obviously there are costs to buyers and sellers, and there's also costs to the agents about what happens then. We've always calculated the loss to consumers on the basis of government figures, which are now a little bit old, have calculated an average of £2,727 per consumer. Home Buyers Bureau now reckon that figure is, because of the rising cost of living, is now substantially out of date, and it's in excess of £3,000. But basically, about 1 in 10 of people are losing in excess of £5,000 for every transaction that falls through. So it becomes to quite a bit of money, and that can be quite devastating, particularly for first-time buyers who are trying to get on the housing market and have saved and everything in order to get there. They lose that amount of money. It really puts them back. The cost to agents is obviously a huge matter. At those figures, in order to sell 3 properties, to exchange on 3 properties, they've obviously got to sell 4. There are all of the associated costs associated with that. But just as sort of a basic way of calculating, if the average commission at the moment, given the average property, is around £310,000, average commission in between 1.5%, that means the average commission is about £3,500. That equates to £21 million of lost commission per week.
Right.
And that comes to about just over £1 billion worth of lost commission per annum.
Wow.
So that's what the cost is. It's substantial to consumers, and it's really quite substantial to the professions.
Well, so how do we reduce the instances of this then and try and bring some confidence back to the industry around it?
Well, there's various things that you've got to do to sort of restore trust and ensure good behaviour on the parties. First of all, is transparency about what people are buying. If you walk in to buy anything, you expect to be able to know everything about it. But obviously, with property, you don't really know everything about it until you've received the contract back and you hear from your solicitors. What we aim to do is to make sure that everybody gets all of the relevant information about a property at the time when they're considering making an offer. And then we want the parties to be committed one to the other. We ask them to enter into a reservation agreement that's going to set an objective standard that allows people to be able to withdraw reasonably, that both parties can understand and agree. And there is an independent arbitration process that is involved if they can't agree whether someone's able to withdraw. And by doing that, what we do is the Gazeal process actually drops that number of transactions that fall through, the percentage rate, from that 24 down to about 6%, of which about 3% of transactions are falling through reasonably, 3% unreasonably. And for those people where it falls through unreasonably, there is compensation payable to the innocent party.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Duncan, again for joining us. I really appreciate the time you've taken to speak with us today. If you'd like to explore how Searchflow can be your partner of choice, then please get in touch with us via LinkedIn, Twitter, or email us at sales@searchflow.co.uk. Thanks again, Duncan, and thanks to everyone for listening.
Thank you very much, Liz.
It's a pleasure, and I hope that you can join us again for another 90 seconds.